The Earth is our home, a beautiful, diverse planet that sustains life in all its forms. But as the world's population continues to grow, we are placing an increasingly heavy burden on our planet. We all leave a carbon footprint, a measure of the impact that our daily lives have on the environment. One of the biggest contributors to our carbon footprint is transportation. Cars, buses, and planes all produce carbon emissions that contribute to global warming and climate change. First of all, let's define what a carbon footprint is. Essentially, it is a measure of the amount of greenhouse gases, particularly carbon dioxide, that are released into the atmosphere as a result of your daily activities. Our daily actions impact the environment in more ways than we realize, and it's important to understand how our choices affect the planet. But how do we know how much we're contributing? One way to find out is by using a carbon footprint calculator. This tool helps us estimate our carbon emissions based on our daily habits and activities. The results may be surprising. For example, did you know that driving your car for an hour can emit as much carbon as charging your smartphone for 2 years? The problem is that these greenhouse gases are the primary cause of climate change, which is having a devastating impact on the planet, from rising sea levels to more extreme weather events. The effects of climate change are being felt all around the world. That's why it's so important for all of us to take action to reduce our carbon footprint. So what can you do to reduce your carbon footprint? Well, one of the simplest things you can do is to recycle. This includes everything from plastics to cardboard to metals. When we recycle, we reduce the need for new products to be manufactured, which in turn reduces the amount of energy and resources required to produce those products. Another important way to reduce your carbon footprint is to focus on waste management. This means reducing the amount of waste you produce in the first place and then properly disposing of that waste. You can do this by using reusable bags instead of disposable ones, avoiding single-use plastics, and composting food scraps instead of throwing them in the trash. But recycling and waste management aren't the only ways to reduce your carbon footprint. You can also make changes to your daily routine that can have a big impact. For example, consider using public transportation or biking instead of driving your car. This can significantly reduce the amount of greenhouse gases that are released into the atmosphere. You can also reduce your carbon footprint by making changes in your home. For example, consider switching to energy-efficient light bulbs, turning off electronics when you're not using them, and using a programmable thermostat to regulate your home's temperature. The bottom line is that there are many things you can do to reduce your carbon footprint. Whether it's recycling, waste management, or making changes to your daily routine, every small step you take can make a big difference. So let's all do our part to protect the planet and reduce our carbon footprint. Another way when we contribute to our carbon footprint is through waste. When we throw away items that can't be recycled or composted, they end up in the landfills where they release methane, a potent greenhouse gas. But we can reduce our waste by recycling, composting, and choosing products with less packaging. Our carbon footprint is also impacted by the products we consume. The production of goods such as electronics and clothing requires energy and resources that contribute to carbon emissions. However, we can make a difference by choosing products that are sustainably made, such as clothing made from organic cotton or food from local sustainable farms. Reducing our carbon footprint is not just about the planet, it's also about our health and well-being. By making small changes in our daily lives, we can create a cleaner, healthier environment for ourselves and future generations. There are other ways to reduce our carbon footprint, such as using renewable energy, eating a plant-based diet, and choosing to walk, bike, or use public transportation instead of driving alone. It's up to all of us to take responsibility for our impact on the planet and make a difference, no matter how small. Here are some facts to remember. Carbon footprint is a measure of the total greenhouse gas emissions caused directly and indirectly by an individual, organization, event, or product. The primary greenhouse gas that contributes to climate change is carbon dioxide, CO2. But other gases like methane and nitrous oxide also have a significant impact. Transportation is the biggest contributor to an individual's carbon footprint, followed by household energy use and food consumption. Industries like electricity generation, agriculture, and manufacturing are the biggest contributors to greenhouse gas emissions on a global scale. Carbon offsetting is a way to mitigate your carbon footprint by investing in projects that reduce or remove carbon emissions, such as renewable energy or reforestation. The carbon footprint of a product includes all the emissions from its entire life cycle, including production, transportation, and disposal. The average carbon footprint of a meat eater is almost double that of a vegetarian. By reducing your carbon footprint, you not only help to mitigate the effects of climate change, but you can also save money on energy bills and reduce your dependence on fossil fuels. According to the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, the Earth is our home, and it's up to all of us to protect it.